Okay, pack the valve clearances on the fzr1000 R model. Basically, to get the top, you want to get the top dead center first. Okay, so what you do basically is you get your cover off, get all your 4 spark plugs out. Okay, put your gear in 5th gear and rotate the wheel. When you rotate the wheel, you have a little window here. You take this cap off, and there's a little marker in a rotor inside. There's a T mark on the rotor. After the T mark there's a little line. That's the line with another marker on the casing itself for top dead center. Now that you'll want someone to actually look at this while you're turning the wheel to see the markers. Now that will probably hit the marker a couple of times, so for it to be bang on top dead center, okay. I don't know, can you see this here on the cam cover of number 3, okay, and only on number 3 you will have a marker right at the, I'm trying to get this better angle here, right at the center there, okay, right at the edge. You'll have a little marker here. On the sprocket here you'll have a little dot punch, and when they line up, and the same with the intake, the same setup there, when they're lining up, you should be at top dead center. Just be at 110%. Your exhaust lobe is facing this way, as you can see it, okay, and your intake is facing the total opposite. Then you know you're at top dead center with the line, with the marker on the line after the T mark, your lobes and your dot punch on the lines here. Oh, I have the fzr1000 cams and cam cover here, which is the exact same setup as the R model there, okay. I don't know if you can see, try and get a better light here, okay. You have, sorry about this now, I don't know if you can see right at the edge there, look, there's a little line there, okay, on the cam cover. And on the cam itself, the dot punch, the location of it, you can see the light now is fairly shocking here, pointing away at the light of course. Right at the tip of my thumb, there's a little dot punch. You can't barely see it, okay. Sorry for this, so there's a dot punch there on you, and it's the same with the intake. It's the same with the exhaust. You have a dot punch that lines up exactly with your cover there, okay. So basically, when you're at top dead center, you want to check cylinder number 1 for your clearances, and at the moment I've checked all mine, all 20, and actually out of the 20 there's 5 need adjusting. So on the exhaust, the tolerance, as you know, is 0.2 to 0.3, so basically this is 0.2mm, which goes in fairly handy, okay. No need push or anything, no drag. 0.25 is the next scale up, and there's no movement there, okay. So that means to me she is in tolerance, but I would prefer if it was on the latter, 0.25 to 0.3, because these valves actually do tighten as they wear, you see. Okay, so that's the checking of the clearances. Basically, when you go on to check this one, you leave it the way it is. For number 2, as you can see, the exhaust is actually up at the moment, and the intake is actually down on the valve itself, and you cannot check that the way it is at the moment, but you can check the exhaust. To check the intake, you rotate your wheel a half a turn, and you see these lobes will be standing up or pointing away some bit. So just basically rotate your wheel. Now on the manual it says fucking rotate if you have to do whatever, like I don't bother me ass doing that. If I can see a lobe up, I check it, and that's the end of it. The same with all of them. I just rotate till I see the lobes up, and I check each one. Basically, as you're going along, it's handy to kind of draw a little diagram, okay, and basically write your clearances, what you actually read on each one. So that's for cylinder number 1, which is absolutely bang on, okay. Cylinder number 2 there, as you see, the 2 exhaust ones there are a little too tight, so I need to adjust them, okay. Now out of the 20, I have 5 valves out, so this egg cup thing is fucking handy, because as you can see there, cylinder 2 exhaust 1, cylinder 2 exhaust 2, and on the other side I have cylinder 3 intake 1, cylinder 3 exhaust 1, cylinder 3 exhaust too, and my buckets and my shims will actually go into these, so I don't get it mixed up. Because I only need to adjust 5, I will only take out 5 buckets, because I will actually leave the other 15 actually sit in there. I will not take them out, there's not actually no point. So the next thing is to take off your covers. Okay, what you do to get there is basically your cam chain tensioner, which is here. Okay, you have to loosen this all the way. She's on tension with a spring, so basically when you're loosening that towards the end, she'll spring out. Just be careful now, okay? When that's out, your 2 mounting bolts right next to it. Try and get the light in there, you know. There's 1 mounting bolt there, and it's the same on the other side, okay? So you have that out. The next thing to do is to take your cam chain cover, or your cam chain cover off. Once that's off, what you do then is start from the outside, or from the inside out, loosen each cover. Now it doesn't matter if you start on the exhaust, or it doesn't matter if you start the intake, it's all the one, okay? Now before you do that, I have actually little pieces of tape or paper in here, so nothing will actually fucking fall down into me pistons when I'm taking them off, no dirt or fuck all like that, okay? So basically when you're taking these off, be very, very careful. Oh yeah, just before I go on, before you actually take all these off, okay, and before you do the tensioner, and before you do the cam chain, what you want to do is you want to put it in top dead center number 1, because basically that's the way it's supposed to be sitting, and when it goes back together we want it at top dead center number 1, okay? So with the cam chain tensioner off, your cam chain cover off here, when you're starting to take the cam covers off, basically you want to loosen each bolt evenly. So again, from the inside out, okay? So loosen these two, and kind of half turn each time. So you want to kind of loosen each cam cover evenly, because if you crack one of these, that could mean a whole head replacement, which would be fucking, I know if you wouldn't, but it could be expensive anyway. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll get these off and I'll report back.